Hello everyone, welcome to Sports Unlimited, and this is the Monday Night Raw post show. And man, what what a Raw last night. That was by far one of the best Raws I've seen in a long time. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll start right from the beginning. The opening segment starting with WWE World Heavyweight Champion Brock Lesnar accompanied by Paul Heyman. Storms to the ring, obviously angry that Seth Rollins curb stomped him last Monday on Raw, and he wanted to get him some. So, instead, he got the Authority to come out and try to calm him down, and of course, Seth Rollins decides to go via satellite so he doesn't have to face Brock Lesnar face to face. And they're talking back and forth, and then John Cena eventually gets into the mix. He comes out, and, well, long story short, I mean, the segment went pretty long for what it was supposed to be. But anyway, it eventually got to the point that John Cena pretty much was sticking it to the Authority, and the Authority decided to make a match. Supposedly, it was supposed to be a one-on-one match. It would be John Cena versus an unknown opponent, and the stipulation was, if he wins the match, he would earn the jobs of Dolph Ziggler, Ryback, and Eric Rowan back. So they would be back in WWE at work. If he loses the match, he then would lose his WWE World Heavyweight Championship spot at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. So instead of a triple threat, it would be a one-on-one match between Seth Rollins and the current champion Brock Lesnar. But Triple H gave it a twist. He decided to put that vote to the WWE app and for the WWE Universe to decide whether John Cena should accept this challenge or not. And as we eventually found out later on Raw, it was a landslide. 85% of the WWE Universe said, yes, we want to see John Cena fight for those men's jobs. So, next that was important. I'm not going to cover everything because there's too many huge moments on Raw last night that the minor stuff I could care less about. So, next up that was important was the all-star panel of Hulk Hogan, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, and the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. They were introduced by Byron Saxton, asked two questions, one being whether they would like to see John Cena fight last night, and they had their opinions on that. Hulk Hogan obviously, supporting John Cena completely because that's just the way he is. But the second question was a little more interesting, and this is what caused controversy later on in the segment, was who they thought was going to win the Royal Rumble match at the pay-per-view this year. And one being Daniel Bryan, one being Bray Wyatt, and one being Dean Ambrose as their choices. And of course, the Big Show did not take kindly to that, so he decided to come out and pretty much talk trash because they're older and they're not legends and all this other crap. And he decides to knock out the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Because of this, Roman Reigns comes out and pretty much throws Big Show over the top rope, or clotheslines him over the top rope. And Big Show winds up running away and crying about it on the way back up the ramp. So, I mean, that segment was alright. It killed some time. Anytime I get to see Shawn Michaels, it's fun. So third was the reunion of the NWO, which in the beginning, it was horrible. I mean, the segment was horrible. I mean, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and X-Pac just, oh my god, that was just a terrible start to the segment. And surprisingly, I was happy that the Ascension decided to come out, so they made it a little more interesting. But then it got really interesting. They were talking smack between each other for a while, and JBL got tired of hearing it, and he decided to bring back his old APA buddy Ron Simmons. So now you have the NWO, the Ascension, and the APA in the ring together until you hear Billy Gunn and Road Dogg music hit, the New Age Outlaws. They come to the ring, and eventually it turns into a complete beatdown of the Ascension. And my favorite part, of course, being that JBL clotheslined one of the members of the Ascension. I love the clothesline from hell from JBL. I don't care what anybody says. That was amazing. Loved it. And that ended that segment. I mean, they were all happy and stuff. I kind of like that segment just because of JBL clotheslining somebody. But the main event of Raw last night, an absolute amazing match and segment at the end. Unreal. As we learned later on Raw, it was originally supposed to be John Cena versus an unknown opponent, but wound up turning into a 3-on-1 handicap match, which would be John Cena versus Big Show, Kane, and Seth Rollins. And eventually, the match started and they were beating each other up. Of course, there was interference by the Authority. Go figure. So, long story short, it got to the point where at the end of the match, Seth Rollins was getting ready to curb stomp John Cena to finish him off and win the match. Until a picture of Sting came onto the Titantron. Yes, Sting was on Raw last night. If you missed Raw, please check it out on YouTube. I will put the link in the description below because you guys got to see it. But Sting shows up. That distracts all the members of the Authority. And Sting's music hits. And he comes out onto the stage. While the Authority is distracted, Seth Rollins is rolled up and pinned by John Cena. 1, 2, 3 count. And John Cena wins the match, giving back the jobs of Dolph Ziggler, Ryback, and Eric Rowan, which I'm sure we'll see them at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. But the I love this segment. Oh my god. I don't know if you guys loved it as much as I did, but I loved it. Sting immediately pointed at Triple H, which is obviously, if you guys seen my Monday Night Raw preview for this episode of Raw, I even said that there were rumors that Sting was going to show up on Raw last night. And if you listened to my preview, I hope you did, because if you listened to it and you stuck around to watch Raw the whole night, you would not be disappointed. So it was hinted towards Sting. It was hinting towards Sting versus Triple H at WrestleMania, which I would love to see. But anyway, John Cena wins the match. Sting goes back in the back locker room area. Triple H is irate. He's freaking out. He's throwing chairs and throwing the tables around, everything. He's pissed off. And he starts yelling Sting has nothing involved in what the Authority does. And just to make things worse, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Brock Lesnar decides to come out and get him some versus Seth Rollins. He storms right down to the ring, takes down Seth Rollins. Kane and Big Show get involved. Kane gets F5'd. Brock Lesnar just goes after Seth Rollins again. Big Show interferes this time, and Big Show is F5'd as well. And during that, Seth Rollins and J&J Security run, they were running super fast. They ran right into the back to get away from Brock Lesnar. And that is how Monday Night Raw ended. My opinion of Raw last night, an absolute A-plus grade performance on Raw last night. I loved Raw last night. I don't understand why they can't come up with this stuff beforehand. But it wasn't even just about Sting being there. It was overall a really, really good show and a nice way to lead us up to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. I mean, we still have Thursday Night SmackDown, but I don't think it's going to top Raw. There's no way it can top Raw. But anyway, I give this an A-plus performance. Very rarely will I give an A-plus performance for a WWE program, but this is more than well deserving of it. What a Monday Night Raw in Dallas, Texas. Unreal. But anyway, that's my review of Monday Night Raw last night it was January 19th. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Thank you to everybody who watched the Monday Night Raw pre-show. I had I had over 150 views on that one alone. Just from last night, which is the second most viewed video on my entire channel. The other one being the Buffalo Bills head coaching spot, but that was up for weeks. The Monday Night Raw pre-show had a huge turnout, and I thank everyone who viewed it. Please subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, and thank you very much.